Nice. Okay. Good morning. Hello, Marian, and thank you that you are taking this invitation.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation. It's lovely to be here with you, Maria.
Yeah, it's lovely also because you are my first English-speaking guest. So you are opening the new areas, so to say, for these interviews.
What an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. So please tell us more about yourself, who you are and what you do.
Yeah, my name is Marian and I'm a Danish woman living up here in the Swiss Alps, which I have done soon over 20 years. And that's because of marrying a Swiss husband. So I'm up here with our 3 kids. And I have had a clinic of Chinese medicine for 15 years. Been in Chinese medicine for over 20 years. And that was kind of my stepping into the healer's game and that path. And it actually happened on the deathbed of my mother. I've been looking for something for many years, but I couldn't find it. And school was not my strongest side because I've had some dyslexia. And I kept on, I've been traveling around the world for a year. I've been au pair in Switzerland for a year and stuff like that. And then at the deathbed of my mother, she was, I called an acupuncturist who's just opened her clinic 10 kilometers away where we lived in Denmark, in a remote area at the coast, at the sea coast. So I lost my mother to cancer, but at the same time, I received Chinese medicine. So that healer's path could start. And I still did not know what to do. At that point, I was 25, yeah. And I had just done my gymnasium and nothing else because I've just been traveling because I didn't know what it was that I was looking for. But at that point, coming into Chinese medicine, I knew that was it. So very sadly, I lost my mother over 20 years ago, but I gained Chinese medicine. So that was the path into all of this with healing and energy work and transformation and alchemy and all of this. And it's been such a gift going into this path. I love it. And it's gave me such a foundation, sitting and working with people, looking into their eyes for so many years, and connecting to not just their outer patterns, but and pains and all of this, but really going deep into the person, like in and finding out what's in there in them, like connecting to their soul. And then I was in Bali with my family when I turned 40. And there I started the shamanic path. That was in Bali. There are so many shamans. There are more shamans than there are doctors there. And they're both working equally, with health and energy and healing. And that was just like, whoa, this is my path again. Like you're looking for something or something new is coming to you.
Yes.
And that came. And even before that, I had a Danish friend who also lives up here in the Swiss Alps. And she's been talking about going to a shaman here in the Swiss Alps with her children. And I've been listening to that and I put it down in my back of my head to remember it. So being in Bali, it just came like, this is my next step. Now I need to follow this. Because I was kind of missing it in Chinese medicine. I have beautiful teachers who talks about all of this. And especially the one that I have who does the face reading, my teacher of face reading. They were all talking about it, but I somehow had to experience that whole soul part myself. So that was also why I called to the shamanic path. So I went up to the Swiss Alps here on another mountains. I'm living on the mountaintop. She's on another mountaintop, my shaman. And then this whole path started over 5 years ago. And that was really like coming home to that deep soul part of people. What's really in there. And that's soul part that's eternal, living always. That's just in another human body right now, but that's linked to like a whole life stories of many lives. So that was how my shamanic path then started. So this summer I said goodbye to my Chinese medicine clinic. I closed it after all these years. It was not an easy choice to close something that you really still love and that you have had a long path with. But it was exactly 20 years after my mother died, and I opened now the new circle to work as a shamanic practitioner online with female entrepreneurs, to really empower them on that deep soul level, you know, to connect to that, what is really the core of you, to then go out and be even further empowered out into the world and shine your light, being free of what you don't need any longer, and not just in this life, but in lives, and being served from a greater power also. So that's kind of me.
Very long story, very short.
Yes.
I have so many questions to this story, you know, that maybe starting from the very end, because yesterday, the day before we are recording this interview, I took part in your light ceremony, and this was the first shamanic experience for me ever. Mm-hmm. Plus, it wasn't in real, like in real world, it was online, yeah. So I was surprised that it's even possible. Can you tell something more about what actually you do? Because business shaman is a concept that can be new for many people. It was for me new as well, but it didn't stop me. It attracted me even more to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To answer that, you know, because I'm rooted in the Chinese medicine, and Chinese medicine also started with the Wu shamans, and they were often women. And they were not just counseling, you know, like the emperor for health, but they were also counseling for how to rule the world or their country and rule people, or not rule them, but take care of this, you know. Mm-hmm. So there's all of this behind how to rule something, just like we're ruling our businesses, you know, but we have to have balance there. Especially we women, because we are often mothers next to it. We have partners, we have our business, which are often our passion, and we're driven by this, and we have to take care of our health. So it's all of this together, you know. So it's ruling our little empire. And to think about it, having a shaman behind you for your business, it's like you having deeper insights or receiving deeper insights from the spirit world as you experienced yesterday. It's not even, you know, consciousness or subconsciousness. It's beyond that, because you really receive images that's linked to something greater than you. And I really feel like when I see the people I'm working with, it's really not just linked to what you have experienced right now, what you're conscious about. It's, you know, and we know it all from hypnosis also, that you can go into past lives. So it's really kind of dealing with all of it there is, you know, all of these stories, and to set yourself free from all of this on a deep level within you, so that you can even sparkle further in your business, and not being held back by something, and not even, you know, conscious about what your mindset is. But it gives you mindset to work so deep. It gives you mindset shifts to work that deep. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what I can say, that a shaman, you know, it's for clarity, it's for alignment, it's for success, insights, all of this.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like a holistic support, yeah, to every area of your life, plus through the heart, and this deep experience, not so much through words and through the mind. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's really, I love what my shaman always said, that the path of the shaman is the way of the heart. And I think, you know, that's a role model for what we all should do in our lives. Really to get down to that heart and have that longest journey, as they say, you know, from the head to the heart. And in there is this inner knowing and inner wisdom. And we know it inside, we really do. But we come so often in our own way, or society tells us how to do it, or we have a mindset about it, or our past stories, or family stories even. Mm-hmm. And all of this we can clean up, you know, mm-hmm. and then we can get through to who we truly are in our heart. Mm-hmm. And then it's easier then to get out into the world with what we want to, because we are driven and we have our passion and we want to support our communities and our people. And so not diminish that, but to open up for that potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing. I often tell my clients that it's recalling the knowledge. So it's not so much like learning the knowledge, it's more like there is an inner knowing, and a deep inner knowing about, you know, why
you are in your life right now, what's happening and all of this. And I love also the saying that the mind only knows to the next corner of the river, but the heart knows the whole river. So there is a reason why, and there is something, you know, like the destiny is all there. And in Chinese medicine, we're calling it the mandate from heaven. It's what heaven is brought to earth here for you. So it's there, and you are linked to it. If I see the group that I've just been working with, you know, what they wrote 4 months ago and what they wrote in the last evaluation, they knew it. They knew it. It was just, you know, how to come from there to there and how to go through the struggles and overcome all of this. And I work with death and dying, and I work with deep fears and stuff like this. And when you work with this, you set yourself free. And then it's easier to move forward.
Yeah. You know what really open, like what makes me very open to what you are saying is that you are a Chinese medicine practitioner. Yeah. Because many times I hear similar things, but from people, you know, who are not so good in healthy lifestyle, let's put it this way. So I know there are like 5 cups of coffee involved, and I don't know, doing some online courses in the middle of the night, and a lot of not taking care of their health. So for me, the first piece of puzzle is missing. So the second one, the talking about heart and soul, feels like a little bit too high, since the beginnings are not taken care of. And when I hear you being a practitioner, it means that you already kind of take care, yeah? This part is taken care of, so you can move to higher levels, yeah, deeper.
Yeah, and you're saying something so important, Maria. You know, for all of us, no matter if you're an entrepreneur or business owner or what you are, or you just being a housewife, you know, taking care of your children, body, mind, and spirit, right? It's all of it. I'm often thinking about, you know, rich people are not all healthy or happy. You know, you can't buy it. So how is it that we really connect to that deeper happiness within us? And it's also taking care of our body. And that's what I definitely learned when I did my Chinese medicine education. You know, I stepped into something, and there you think lineage. And then you step into this whole way of thinking. And it's not even a religion, you know, it's a thought pattern, you know, where it's all holistic and it's all connected, and it's the seasons and everything that's linked together. And that's where you start thinking about, okay, there's really a bigger picture here, and it's linked with each other, and it goes step by step. And it's like the river that continues. It's not just, you know, it's really 3-dimensional when you think about people. So we have to take care of all. It's not only okay to be spiritual, really wise or enlightened, but if you're not taking care of your health and your body, all of it needs to be in balance. That's where, you know, I really think we get human beings being totally happy.
Because I see this, that some people are very much into their bodies and they just forget about the spiritual dimension. And on the other hand, there are people who are very much into spiritual words and those kind of woo stuff, but the body is out of the picture, so to say. So the only moments when they can actually feel their body is through the disease or some kind of pain, but you know, everyday life is not there in the picture.
Yeah, and that's often, you know, why we are calling on a disease, because illness is an opportunity to change, right? It's a wake-up call.
It is.
We get wake-up calls in different ways, you know. Sometimes it's through deep struggles, or an accident, or an illness, or somebody dying in the family. You know, wake-up calls are here the whole time, and often we can't see it in the beginning that it's a gift. We feel it not as a blessing, but they are here really to make us wake up and take care of ourselves and our lives.
So your wake-up call from your story, where it was at least 2 of them, yeah? The first when your mom were dying, and the second you mentioned the Bali experience, yeah? So I wanted to ask you about the first one. You said that you felt that this is it, the Chinese medicine is your path that you were looking for. So what was the feeling? How you could describe it, like that it was it, yeah?
Yeah, a little story linked to it, you know, because again, about this inner knowing that there is something already, there's this red line in our lives, and it gives us like high points or something like this about where we are heading. And if we listen to this and start looking back, we can see all of these dots on our red line here. And actually, when I did my gymnasium, I had been an au pair just after the normal school, because school was not so nice, so I needed to go traveling. Mm-hmm. Then I was around the world for a year, and then I was ready to do my gymnasium. And in Denmark, we have like a blue book where they write in the end, you know, this student was about that or whatever, you know, just like a small reminder of that person that you have. And in that book, my best friend from the school time wrote in it, and she went like, yeah, Marian is the spiritual witch from the class. Today she's interested in Buddhism. Tomorrow it's Hinduism. What will it be in the future? Taoism. And Taoism is exactly that alchemy of Chinese medicine. Mm-hmm. And that was written a few years before I got connected to Chinese medicine. Yes. Isn't it unbelievable? I can still get surprised by things like this.
Yes, I have goosebumps.
Yes. So then meeting, you know, asking this friend, she's now my best friend and my mentor and everything mixed together, to ask her to come and treat my mother. I did not know about Chinese medicine. I did not know about it at all when I was, you know, 25. And then I know it's like a present from God, you know, because she had just opened her clinic in that area close to where we lived in Denmark. And so she just came, and there was something about seeing my mother lying there dying, and when she came in and she was treating her, and she's very spiritual also, so I could always feel, I think, when I look back on it, that she had a deeper effect on my mother. Mm-hmm. It was not just somebody who came and was treating the body. It was somebody linking to that soul that was lying there also, who was about to be set free, because it was really on the end of her deathbed period, which was a 4 month in our home. And then I came to her clinic, and she just asked me to sit with an orange and starting putting needles into it. And I don't know, that's just a picture I can still remember, you know. And her place was so sacred, you know, all the people coming in there. And they come in with more than just their pain. They come in with their life pain, you know. Mm-hmm. And she was just, the way she was just obtaining all of their energies on all levels. I can still feel it when I'm talking about it today, how fascinating it was.
Yes.
And I just fell in love with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you continue for, like you mentioned, 20 years. And I know that you were successful in this field. Yes. You were not only practitioner, but you had your own clinic. I know that you did online summits with other Chinese doctors and practitioners. So it sounds like a really fulfilling journey.
Yeah, it totally was. I was actually, just after my mother died, I went 4 months to a school in Copenhagen about Ayurvedic medicine.
No.
That was also fascinating, these 4 months. But I had already fallen in love with Chinese medicine. So just a side jump to see how, you know, how we are directed.
Yeah, I completely understand, because, you know, my heart is also taken. I mean, I'm fascinated by Chinese medicine, but my heart is already taken by Ayurveda. So I often look into Chinese medicine. I often recommend doctors and practitioners, because sometimes they are just priceless. Yeah, their contact, their personal touch with herbs and so on. It's just, it can be replaced. But my path is already chosen.
So you fell in love with that? Yeah, I was there for 4 months and I loved it. Especially what I loved was the astrology, because we were also taught a little bit about that in these 4 months. And that was so, wow, you could really see beyond something in that, you know, and we were just beginners there. We didn't really, but that was fascinating. Yeah. The Chinese medicine was it was not just my work, it was my life. As you said, my heart was taken. It was my hobby. I was so grateful for the school here in Switzerland with a lot of international teachers. And you know, if you think about Chinese medicine 20 years ago, what was there 20 years ago? You know, there was not that many books yet. And now there are today. And I just loved it all. And I thought, you know, I need to bring all of this to Denmark, to Scandinavia. So I started running online congresses, live congresses, because my parents had a hotel in Denmark. So I was used to, how to organize all that from the viewpoint of organizing. And then I invited in the speakers, and there was 4 congresses over 7 or 8 years. And that was just amazing too. Inviting in all of that power to Scandinavia, and especially to Denmark. Yeah.
Yeah. And Denmark is kind of, it's for me, it's like a bridge between this lower, so to say, Europe and the upper Europe. Yeah, it's many new ideas are like born in Denmark, and then they spread towards the north part. Yeah. And that's how I feel it.
A powerful little country.
Yeah, it is powerful little country. It's kind of like like this place when you do experiments. And when the results are good, then you spread it out. So I feel that Denmark is kind of, it's very open-minded in a way.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, nice. You know what was really inspiring for me was the story that you were successful in your practice. Mm-hmm. And you decided that this is not it. This is not your calling. I mean, maybe it was, but now the calling has changed, and you took this bold move. I imagine it was really bold, and it requires a lot of courage to really close down the clinic or sell it. Yeah, just finish this part and continue with the other one. It's pretty amazing, because usually I hear stories where people were like upset with their jobs. Yeah, they had enough of boss, working hours, salary or whatever, and they are just pushed, against the wall. And from this motivation, they are searching for something else. But in your case, it was different story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a struggle in another way. I think we all serve some struggles when we do changes or when they are calling us. I could have stayed in the clinic because it was fantastic there, but there was that heart voice, that inner voice, that calling, a desire from the heart, I would almost say, to continue the journey, and I could have stayed and continue my successful clinic locally and taking care of this community. I've had taking care of small children. Now I was taking care of them as teenagers or patient, I'm just a life doctor, for so many years. So you've had them on their journeys, right? And for sure, some of them were not happy when I said, I'm going to hand over the clinic to somebody else, but it's in good hands. So that's good. But it was really that desire for more impact and desire for also serving in a different way than what I've done for so many years. And also to do that energetical work in another form. And also, I remember one time when I was thinking about the congresses in Denmark that I've done, and I loved them so much, and they were so also me. And I remember how I had a sense of standing on the stage, presenting my experts, and having all of this gathering, having impact on all the practitioners there. And that was, from the world. They were, I even remember once we had somebody come from Pakistan, So it's about having impact on these people. And then they go out to their clinics and have impacts on their patients or at their homes. And then the patient goes home and have effect of their homes when you work energetically, and that knowledge and wisdom that goes out. So it was something about it also, this was calling me. I'm working with female entrepreneurs, who are business owners, and they go out and have impact in the world. So if you can help them receive deep healing, transformation, clarity, insight, empowerment, they will go out and do the same. So it's that ripple effect also that I was longing for, even on another level than from the clinic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for this change, because thanks to this I could take part in the ceremony of light yesterday. Yeah, it wouldn't be possible if you don't decide to do it online. In the first place. But it sounds like those kind of stories are easy to tell, but they are hard to experience. And I wonder what was helping you in this transition period, or maybe who was helping you, because I imagine that you could need some support to do this, to close and to open.
Yeah, definitely. It's been quite a struggle, because as I said before, the clinic, the Chinese medicine, was not just a job. It was like my first calling. So it was hard to say goodbye to a first calling, but it's again like that with destiny, you know. And also when I read faces, you know, there's the life purpose lines, and all of this is talking about where you are in life and where you're heading and everything. And there was, you know, we have these circles also. So it felt like I could have maybe moved even beforehand when I said, now I know I need to change. I want to, you know, there's a calling. But there was a journey that needed to happen. And often we're thinking about, why can't it just happen sooner? I know what I want to do. I want to change. But we can't miss that journey. There is an almost a struggle journey that's important, because it's birthing us into what's to come. You know, that whole break, like I was talking about yesterday, that whole breaking free period. And it has a much deeper sense behind it than just a change or just letting go or moving forward.
Yes.
It's educating you again.
Yes.
And so it's part of that transformation. And if it was just that easy, you know, okay, but what did we learn then? So there was one circle that needed to end, it feels like, you know, before the next circle could really open. And there was a big period of learning here. And also who has been supporting me so much is my husband. You know, at times when I was ready to give up the new calling, when I almost lost hope and I didn't trust it, I couldn't hear my heart any longer, my head was too noisy, he was just, no, you're not going to go back. You are on a different path. You know what you want. Continue. We will make this happen. Don't worry. You know, we can come through this. I'm here for you. And he was such a huge support, you know, really in this journey.
Yeah, you know, now the image of seahorse came to my mind. You know, seahorse. I don't know if it's the right word in English. These little creatures. The men are pregnant. You know, so yes, the only creature in the world where the man is carrying the child. So it you know, when you were talking about this, it just reminded me of this man who is taking care about the new kind of quality, new being, until it's ready to continue by its own.
Yeah, and when you say that, I recall, you know, giving birth to my three children, and that energy, you know, with my husband supporting me, it was kind of the same energy, you know, when you're giving birth. They can't do it for you, but they're there, you know. It's that mountain next to you of stillness and calmness and supporting you doing that inner work that you have to do to help that baby being born into the world. So it was that kind of energy once again that he helped me with, you know, to birth the next thing to come into the world. Yeah,
I know this feeling, because my husband is like supporting me in this way, that, you know, I have this vision, I have this calling, I have those dreams, those pictures, and then sometimes the mind is overactive, it's too noisy, as you said, and then he's the one to really connect me back to the earth, back to myself, back to my dream, and remind me what I thought is possible for me, because maybe now now, you know, like today, Wednesday, I forgot, but he still remembers, and he can like fuel this dream.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and if it doesn't have to be your partner, if you don't have one, or if they can't support you, can also be another community or really close connected friends that can help you. It's also like we say in Chinese medicine, you know, the practitioner. They're holding hope in the hand for you to heal. And this is the same transition part, you know, if you're transitioning from illness to health or from a new job to the next job, it's all of these transitions, you know, and you often need somebody who can help you hold that hope to do the transition.
Yeah, and I would add to it that you can look for the people also in the online space, because we are not all of us are blessed with husband who is understanding, or friends in a close, you know, neighborhood. Sometimes you need to reach out to Swiss Alps to find someone who is like a soulmate to you.
Yeah, and that's a blessing of today, right? The neighbor is not any longer just the neighbor in your little town. It's connected through that big web we have now, you know, where there are connections all around, and that's amazing. You know, I just with my course that I just had running, you know, somebody sitting in Iceland, in Holland, in Canada, and in Norway, in Germany. I just love it, and I think that was exactly also some of that was calling me. to be able to share your gifts international into the world and not just locally up here in the Swiss Alps, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would also like to ask you about this, you know, you mentioned yesterday when we had the ceremony of light that the year 2019 was a year of struggles, of breaking through, breaking from, completely true for me, at least. And you also said that the next year will be the year of heart, the year of soul. Can you tell something more about this? What is the quality that is guiding us in 2020?
Yeah, and, you know, I think it's important that not only you are just, you know, kind of the master, you're always also the student. So I will always continue being a student and go to my teachers. And I was at my shaman and she was talking about all of this, you know, with her even further many years of experience. And that was where she was talking about all of this was the last year was about in relation to planets and everything that comes in and the energies and stuff. And she was talking about how 19 really was a struggle year and an in-between year and a year of breaking free from stuff. And I can recall to it as well, just like you.
Yes.
And I think many can, that it was really a challenging year. And now it comes into the moon year. And that's really a spiritual energy that we're coming into now. It's also 2020. And so really use the time to listen to that heart. What is it telling you? What is that inner knowing that you know? Don't disconnect from it. Don't stay in your head. Make sure that there is a balance between head and heart. Listen to those messages, because it's so important moving forward. We need this almost awakening or a human enlightenment, if I can say like this. You know, how are we moving forward? How are we treating ourselves? How are we treating our planet? How are we treating work life also, everything, you know, where's balance? All the Chinese medicine, the yin and the yang, that symbol that everybody knows. There's nobody who doesn't know it, you know, after Coca-Cola, you know, the sign of yin and yang. But to have a deeper understanding what it is of balance, so that we can all move forward in this way. Because right now, you know, following that heart and listening to it, it has effects many years forward.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something what we do for ourselves and also for our children, yeah?
Yes.
Just changing the space. You know, today when we had breakfast, my son told me, Mommy, please light the candle because the candle helps your tummy, he said. And those are the words that I told him yesterday. And he just took it in and he repeated today. Yeah? So I was like, oh my God, he learned so fast. Yeah. What a beautiful thing to say. Yeah, light your candle because it helps with your digestion. Yeah, he didn't use this word, but the meaning was it helps your tummy. Yeah,
it's all about that consciousness in lifestyle, consciousness in business, consciousness in how you want to be in the world. Yeah, it's so important.
Yeah, and you know, one of my favorite poems are a poem written by Dalai Lama, Never Give Up. And in this poem there is a line which saying that it's too much energy is like devoted to development of the mind, especially in the Western countries. Yeah, that we are too much in the mind and we are always betting on mind, you know, that we are just, everything is about the mind. And also the message in this poem is develop your heart because the world needs this quality. And later on I also found his sentence about this development of the heart and the leading role of the women, are like more, how to say, that they are like connected to this quality and they can really spread it and, you know, grow it.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on this?
I love that poem too of Dalai Lama, the saying, I have it also dear to my heart. And it always reminds me again about, you know, we both are rooted in so old ancient tradition. You with Ayurvedic, you know, from India, and I from China, and they're life wisdoms, right? They're not just religion, or they're all of it mixed together. And that's so beautiful. What I love about these old traditions, they don't split up that body, mind, and spirit, they put it together. They know it's belonging together, not like in Western world where we are, kind of putting it apart. And I love the saying from Chinese medicine when they say that, or Chinese tradition, Chinese thinking, that the heart is the emperor and the mind shall only follow. To really put that heart in the first place, yes, we need our mind to direct and think and take action, but from the impulse from the heart. Let the heart be the first one talking. And then use your mind afterward to act out on it and understand it. But the heart is the ruler. So it's those inputs that comes in from there. Otherwise, you have like a mind, a general that takes over a country, and that, we know how that doesn't work out well.
No. Although we have examples of this, yeah. And the other thing that, like you said, this when the heart rules, it's something which is not so common. So I find it sometimes quite difficult, to have this trust, because sometimes my heart is telling me weird things like, what? Why? Why not? And then, it's kind of, how to say, it's a new experience to follow those very bold statements and bold moves, to do certain things or to stop doing certain things.
Yeah, but we can grow into trusting the heart more, and we can go in and step by step mature, I think, to follow the heart. I'm learning it also still, I can also still hear the noise in the head, and we know that also from all the mindfulness, how to calm that monkey mind we have, all of us. And as you said before, also how the mind is putting so much value on, especially in the West. We know it already in the schools, how that can be less effective for some of the kids, who are maybe more naturally comes from the heart or in another alignment. But I think, we can grow to trust this. And I love also in America, the whole research place they have with heart math, and how they have researched that the heart knows things before the eye sees it. I just find it's there the trust is already. You can see here research effective of the heart, and they know also how the heart has much more energetically power than the mind. So actually you can get like a confirmation why to trust the heart. Yeah, and we fall in love from the heart, right?
Yeah,
everybody knows that.
Fast. Yes. I just want to make it really to say it again, that it takes time, this following the heart, it's a process. And at the beginning, sometimes for certain people it's fast and it's just, they are there, but many times it's like you keep repeating this process, and each time you are getting better and better in following your heart, in following your instincts. When you were talking, again, image came to my mind, like when I'm on the beach, hot sunny day, and it's excellent on the beach, but somehow I'm longing the water, yeah. But it's not very comfortable to go from the hot beach, from the hot sand into the water. So the first steps are like, oh my God, this is so cold, I don't want to go. But then, slowly, when I'm in the water, it's just perfect. Yeah, it's just perfect because it's something that I really need. It gives me the rest. It gives me the space. It gives me the, of course, lower temperature, but this kind of this state of being like in balance. Yeah, not too much of one thing. So I think it's kind of like going from the mind to the heart. It can be, not scary, but uncomfortable at the certain steps. But once you are in, you feel like it's a perfect place to be.
Yeah, and there's so much about that mind controlling you. What is the mind talking? Well, don't go into that cold water, but how good it will feel afterward to be in there. And that's just one thing, sea and beach, but people going into ice water, to really cool down, and the power the human body has, they can be in there and nothing happens. So we are so much stronger in our inner core and knowing than, you know, what the mind really, it's so limiting, I feel.
Yeah. You know, I know that people who are listening to this interview would be curious about the face reading that you mentioned before. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit more about this? What is actually the face reading that you do?
Yeah, I have learned it from Lillian Pearl Bridges in America. And her grandmother taught her since she was 5 years old. So this is really like a family apprenticeship, you know. She was just sitting next to her every weekend, and her grandmother was looking at faces. And it's not just fortune telling, it's really about health also. And it's also about your potential, and it's about love life. And you know, you can see your face is a map of who you are. Mm-hmm. And one thing, just to mention one thing, is that you can put your finger on your eyebrow here and the bone beneath. Mm-hmm. And if you do that, and I can't open my eye, but if you can open it, it's because you're introverted. And if you can't open it, it's because you're extroverted, and you can open it.
Okay.
So you have an energy about being introverted, and you need your space to gain energy again, and you need that calmness and everything, and then you're good again.
Okay, how much forward your eyes are, yes? If you are more into the word or more...
Exactly.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you for this. This is the little thing that we can do, like all of us can do to see. Yeah.
So it's confirming about who you are, your face. And then also in face reading, lines are not just lines. It's not just wrinkles. It's like the tree, you know, how they put wrinkles every year, or lines, circles every year. And sometimes they're broad because it's been a good year, and sometimes they're narrow because it's been a not so good year for them. The same is our face. The whole face is marking of your life. Right ear for women, it starts from the birth until 7 years old, and then on the other ear, it's from 7 to 14, and then it goes up on the forehead. The 20s, eyes are the 30s, the nose is the 40s. Here in the philtrum is the 50s. The chin here is the 60s, and then comes the 70s. It's all markings here. Wow. So all the markings here on your forehead, a lot of people knows that you don't have that many here. You're very... You don't have that many.
Meditation and Ayurveda, you know, it just really smooths my forehead. Yeah, like some, because this is the.
Oh, now I can see that.
Yeah, I do. So I have some. Yeah.
I have many of them. I'm proud of every one of them. I would never ever do anything to them or remove them. They're talking about the life wisdom that I have gained from living.
Yes.
So every line here that goes all the way through, you have learned a life lesson. And if they only go half through, you have only been experienced a life lesson, but you haven't learned from it yet. So and they are talking about a special age here when they go through here. And then you have like the elements, different places in your face also. The corners and the tips are the heart. Just like in Chinese medicine, we have the tongue tip, that's the heart. So if you haven't slept so well, you can just look at the tongue tip and you can see that it's a bit red. That's because the heart energy is a bit disturbed because you couldn't rest and sleep. You have the chin down there is the kidney area. So you can see fear here from the emotions. The sides here are the lungs. So you see all of this here in your face. But that's just, you know, the physical part, the body.
Yeah, exactly.
But it belongs also to the emotions. Like the lungs are part of grief. So if you have lines on your cheeks, they can be talking about a deeper grief. So all of this is, your whole face is talking, you know, your eyebrows, what kind of eyebrows do you have? And when I look at you, you know, we can also split up from the hairline down to the eyebrows, and from the eyebrows to under the nose, and from under the nose under the chin. That's how we said that this is people who are great thinkers. These are people who are a great thinker.
My complex for, like most of my life was that my forehead is too big. I used to wear this hair to cover my forehead. And then also thanks to my husband, I came to understanding this is my gift. This is who I am. Yeah. So just let me present it to you.
Exactly.
Yes.
And this is really the way Chinese face reading also works. It's showing you that what you thought you didn't like, you will start loving it when you know what it stands for. So it stands for your great thinking. Your forehead.
Because you go deeper with this, yeah? Like the face reading that you mentioned, we also do in Ayurveda practice, but you go deeper with this soul reading, that you're actually connecting this information to the events in your life, like beyond the lungs and beyond the emotions, like deeper understanding of what happened in your life.
Yeah, you can really go in. I love the work with the soul, because a shaman is also one who works with the soul. And it's also said that a shaman can see in the dark. So it's like when you start connecting deep with those eyes, we all know that they are called the mirror of the soul.
Yes.
You can really look beyond, you can look in. And then by seeing markers on the face, you can start asking about what happened here, what is going on there, what did you experience, what is this about, and where are you in your life right now? Are you really living your purpose, or you're connecting to it? And then you start looking at the eyes, because the eyes, like from children, that light that comes out of children, that's their Shin light, the soul light.
Yes.
Then you start communicating with this light, so you can see when somebody's turning it off or turning it on. So that you have a yes and a no there. So I'm more trusting people's eyes and their face markers than what they normally always say, because what you're saying could also be controlled by your mind.
Yes. Yes, yeah. That's true. It's amazing, because when we met in Zurich, in Switzerland, and before I met you, I went on the walk, and just on the random street, I saw a book lying there behind the house. Somebody just put it on the, on the I don't know. It wasn't even a bench. It was just lying there on the ground, on the floor, and the book was about something like. Body reading from Feng Shui or Taoism, something like this. So definitely some ancient tradition, and then body reading, and it was in German. So I took the book, and it had really nice, like pink cover, and I understood the meaning, but of course I put it back again because, useless for me since I don't speak German, but it was kind of sign, yeah. And then I was attracted to you, and I saw your colors, beautiful wrinkles, and beautiful hair. And it's quite unusual in the business world when people have tendency to put themselves in, like tight clothes with like certain colors, and hair is perfect and full makeup, and you were just so natural, like a goddess, yeah. And I reach out to you because I felt you were in a way calling me, yeah. And then I remember that you said something like, your eyes are so beautiful, yeah. You said like maybe 3 sentences. That was it, but it was so fulfilling to really see that you see me, yeah, that you can actually feel me in this short interaction, in this short meeting.
Yes. We all have these gifts, and this is one of those that I really have, and I learned it by sitting with my clients. They educated me for all of these years, where they allowed me to look beyond into them, and then with this whole tool of that soul face reading, you can really connect to who's standing there in front of you, and we all just desire to be seen, right? We know that always from our children, how they say, look mommy, how they are standing on one leg, and I think we still continue having that inside of us. We just want to be seen for who we are, because we can get mixed up ourselves, like, what is this about? And then we listen from the outside, and we try to get advices, but they're not the proper advices we need and stuff like this. So we all just want to be seen for who we truly are. And I love my gifts for this, and I love the tools I have for it. And then with the whole shamanic part, you can receive messages for people, and doing ceremonies or rituals for you. That's also so ancient, and we are doing it also in the West here, Christmas and all of this are just rituals that we're doing. And they're so powerful for us. we can break through to so many things when we're doing this, and it goes so deep. And can we just, unfold our path in a beautiful way in front of us? That's just so heart healing.
Yeah, beautiful. Oh, Marian, I'm so blessed that I will be working with you in your Lead with Soul program. And just can you please tell where to find you if someone is interested in, reading, listening, or working with you? Where should they go? Where they can find you to go deeper into this gift that you are presenting?
Yeah. My website is just my name, Marian Nielsen Joos. And I have an online community also for female entrepreneurs or business owners, or somebody who wants to be all of this or have a desire for it, a calling for it. They are very welcome to be part of this community. And it's so much about, can we just be seen so that we can grow from being seen and empowered and shine our beautiful light into the world? Because we all have this soul light, with some it can just be a little bit dimmed, but it can be turned up for all of us, so that we can really fulfill our destinies.
Yeah, sometimes it's like this, that it's hidden. Yeah, I see it in the people, that it's like a precious stone, but like hidden very, very deep and covered with all kind of things, crap as well. And it takes time and guidance and a path, to uncover and to reach to this precious stone that you have inside.
We all experience different things in our lives where we start, to cover it up, or, even traumas, but there are always ways to heal this and to break through again and break free. And we can all do this, and that's just so magical.
Thank you so much for all your love and this joy. I feel like you have this kind of love, like from kids' heart. When I talk with my kids, I feel this unconditional, this like full of space, freedom, laughter, this kind of energy, which is very needed to balance the business side, which often is too much mind, square, and rules and do's and don'ts. So it's beautiful. It's really beautiful holistic thing that you are offering. Thank you so much, and it was a pleasure talking to you, and all the best for your new way.
Thank you too, and thank you so much for inviting me in here and allowing space to talk. And we're so connected with our wisdoms, where we come from, our traditions. And I'm so happy that you signed up for Lead with Soul, because I know it's going to be a magical journey for you, opening up for what you need to receive, for clarity, for moving forward. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Lovely. Yes.
Yeah.